Aloha and hello to everybody out there. What's going on? This is Miho from the Too Close to Call podcast. This series we're doing here is the Philly Fanatics podcast, which will give you series breakdowns after the Phils wrap up each series, whether it be 3 or 4 games. And this past series was 4 games with the Marlins, where the Phillies took 3 out of 4. After losing the first game, they were able to take the last 3 in the series to get back on track and improve to 16-12 on the year and a tidy 11-5 at home there. They tend to like playing in Citizens Bank this year, obviously, since they're 5-7 on the road, but 11-5 at home. And let's dive into each game here. I appreciate you guys bearing with us. I was out in Pittsburgh this weekend visiting some family, so I didn't actually see every inning of every game, but we were watching on our phones and Chromecasting to the television, so we were able to catch a little bit of every game this weekend. Unfortunately, I was driving during Thursday night's action, as well as the NFL draft was on, so that was occupying most of America, but the Phillies lost that one in 10 innings. Another extra inning loss. That's got to be at least 4 for the Phillies so far this year that I can remember. So out of the 12 games they've lost this year, 3 or 4 of them, maybe even 5, have come in extra innings where the bullpen has just let them down essentially for the time being. But only 1 run on Thursday. That's not going to do it. Obviously, the offense not really showing up. Andrew McCutchen started in left field. He moved into center as they substituted Nick Williams into left field to take out Aaron Altair after Aaron started 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. And Aaron, unfortunately, right now is just not a big league ball player. It's tough to say because he doesn't have any options left, which means you can't send him to Lehigh Valley without designating him for assignment, which allows every other team the opportunity to snatch him from you for nothing, so to speak, because you can send guys from the bigs down to the minors 3 different times until when you do it a 4th time, the other teams in order of worst to first are allowed to go, yeah, I'll take that guy and give him a shot. And honestly, Aaron Altair, being 6'4", runs really well, plays a good center field, and even as recent as 2 to 3 years ago, had a solid big league season, I think, for the 2016 Phils. Somebody's going to take a flyer on that, so it's tough to stay with him, though. When he's hitting 0.38, he's not walking. Everything is just terrible, and he really just needs at-bats, and you can't give them to him right now at the big league level, that's for sure. Nick Williams wasn't much better, 0 for 2 with a strikeout in relief of Aaron Altair. Sean Rodriguez played shortstop for us again. We are missing Sean Kingery big time, as well as Phil Gosselin and Sean Rodriguez kind of doing a little bit of a rotation there. Kapler did mess with the lineup a little bit, put Real Muto second, Franco in the 5 spot. Cesar went 2 for 4 out of the 6 spot with really, the Phillies having 4 hits on the night, 2 of them coming from Cesar. But the one positive I will say, or I guess a couple positives, is Adam Morgan continued his strong start. He only went in for 1 batter. Yet again, Gabe Kapler using our best relief pitcher for 1 hitter. I don't get that at all. Gabe continues to misuse the bullpen, which will come up, I'm sure, as the season progresses as something to look at, because we really only have 2 effective relievers, and if you're using one of them in a game that's going extra innings for 5 pitches, I don't know what the hell you're doing, Gabe. That's unbelievable. So he went to Sir Anthony Dominguez for an inning. It was not a clean inning, 23 pitches. That's not what you want out of him. And Hector Neris tried to get 2 innings out of Hector. Unfortunately, that second one didn't go very well, and he gave up the home run to lose the game 3-1. But the bright spot, after I just circled around it there, was actually Aaron Nola, starting pitcher. He went 6 2/3, 7 hits, only 1 run, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, 103 pitches. So the strikeouts still not high, still not up there. He's still figuring out his curveball. Based on some pitch FX data, it's looking like he's throwing a harder breaking ball this year, and that's something to look at, whether or not he kind of manipulates the speed on that pitch to get back to where it was most successful last year with people swinging and missing. But all in all, 6 2/3, 1 run. You're going to take that from Aaron Nola, who lowers his ERA to 5.68 on the year after that start. That took us into Friday night's matchup, where the Phils bounced back with a 4-0 victory, and Jared Eichhoff had the best start out of any Philadelphia Phillies pitcher this year up until Friday. Jared Eichhoff got the W. He is now 1-1. Gave up only 2 hits in 7 innings, no runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and an economical 86 pitches. His ERA is at 2.12 right now. So Jared is back. He is not going anywhere. If he stays healthy and continues to perform like this, he's been solid, I think, now in at least 2, obviously, but probably 3 starts. Here we go. Adam Morgan, yet again. Gabe Kapler, 1/3 of an inning, 1 walk, 11 pitches. Still hasn't given up a run, but not being used properly. That's unbelievable. Gabe, if you're listening out there and you need to be listening, figure it out with Adam Morgan. Please let the guy pitch. He can get lefties and righties out. He's finally got the confidence. He can finally throw the slider. He's making good hitters look ridiculous. Stop using him for 1 batter, please. Edebry Ramos went 2/3, and Pat Neshek at the back end threw a scoreless inning, and his ERA is at 2.45. He continues to be strong. On the offensive side of things, the Phillies only had 6 hits again. Nobody had 2. Real Muto, 1 for 3, 1 RBI. Harper was 1 for 3. He hit a 2-run home run, a moonshot in the 8th inning, I believe it was. Yes, the bottom of the 8th inning to take it from 4-0 to 2-0. So we needed every bit of Jared Eichhoff on Friday to win this game. Nick Williams 1 for 4, Franco 1 for 3, Cesar with another hit. Cesar's up to 276. He's now the top hitting guy on this team. That's pretty crazy considering where he was the first couple of weeks of the season. For him to turn it around, good for Cesar. However, his defense is something else to be discussed because he had a couple other gaffes this weekend I've read about that hurt the Phillies on that side and is really starting to kind of bug people within the organization and annoy them. That Cesar, hey man, you're not young buck anymore here. You're a veteran. You can't be making these boneheaded mistakes. So Jared Eichhoff carries the Phils to a 4-0 win on Friday, and that leads us into Saturday, where the Phillies, again, they win a wild one, 12-9. Oh my God, let's see here. The Phils were up 10-0 heading into the top of the 6th, and Miami decided to go 4-2-2 in the 6th, 7th, and 8th inning, and then Rhys Hoskins with some insurance in the bottom of the 8th so that Phillies fans could breathe. We were watching this one as we were cruising around the city, went to a couple different bars in Millvale, Pennsylvania, and then down to right by Heinz Field and PNC Park to catch the Sixers game 1 this night, and have the Phillies on in the background. Caught them when we got back to my sister's place at night. But unfortunately, Jake Arrieta, he did get the win going 5 innings, 9 hits, but gave up 5 runs, so his ERA spiked up. Gabe Kapler wanted to pull him after 5 innings, but Jake Arrieta talked him into letting him go back out there for the 6th, and Jake won the battle, but Gabe may be winning the war because obviously he should not have gone back out there as he gave up 4 straight hits, and all of those people ended up scoring when he could have went 5 innings and 0 runs. He wanted to go 6, but you can't fault the guy. He's been one of the best starters this year. It just inflates the ERA even though he's 4-2. We got relief innings out of Jose Alvarez. Enyel De Los Santos, they tried to use out of the bullpen. He was one of the culprits that gave up 2 hits and 2 runs. I believe it was a home run, a 2-run shot off of him. The next guy, Sir Anthony Dominguez, gave up 3 hits and 2 runs, and his ERA at 5.23. He continues to try to find that cutter-slider combination that was really baffling people as he was rocketing through the minor leagues, AA, AAA, and all the way up to the show last year and having success, and it was closed down by Hector Neris. Did give up a hit and a walk. Obviously, we got base runners on, but 2 strikeouts with that splitter, and Hector found himself with save number 4 and a 2.92 ERA. Obviously, the offense picked it up here. Like I mentioned on Thursday, they didn't show up. Well, they did on Saturday. And Andrew McCutchen continues to be an on-base machine at the top of the lineup with 2 runs scored. He was 1 for 3, a couple of walks. Gene Segura back for the Phillies. He was 0 for 1. He did get hit in the head. They put him in concussion protocol, but he was able to pass concussion protocol and bounce back. So that's a person they're going to need moving forward. We missed him more than we ever thought we would once he went to the IL, as they're calling it now. Bryce Harper 1 for 2, 2 RBIs. Rhys Hoskins 2 for 4, a couple of RBIs. Real Muto 2 for 5. He's hitting the ball up to 278. Gene Segura, obviously the top hitter on the team, though I know I mentioned Cesar, but that's only because Gene wasn't in the lineup that day. Nick Williams with a couple of hits. He's doing better after a couple consecutive starts. His first starts of the year at the end of April. That's tough after a month of the season to get your first start, to come in, get a couple of hits. Good for you. Phil Gosselin, 1 for 1 off the bench. Cesar, another hit. Franco, 2 for 4 again. And Arrieta got a hit. That may have been the first one as a Phillies pitcher on the season. But the Phils win 12-9 in an exciting game. Hector Neris with the save. And that took us to Sunday afternoon's ball game against the Marlins, where the Phils ultimately took 3 of 4 in a 5-1 win. And I know I said it on Friday, the Phillies got the best start of the year from a starting pitcher. However, it was outdone on Sunday by Zach Eflin. He now has the record for the best start of the year. He went the first complete game since 2017 when Ben Lively threw a complete game. And that tells you where the hell the Phillies were as a franchise, that Ben Lively was one of the best pitchers they had. So Zach Eflin, 9 innings, 7 hits, 1 run, only 3 strikeouts, 107 pitches, lowers his ERA to 3.34. And basically Zach Eflin's telling Nick Pivetta, hey, there's nothing left here, because down on the farm, Pivetta had 14 strikeouts in 6 innings. So that's 18 outs. 14 of them came via the strikeout with only 1 walk, or maybe 3 walks, I believe, but it was low on the walk. So Pivetta's trying to work his way back. I'm digging that, get back into the rotation. But Eflin saying it's not going to be me. Velasquez has been one of their best pitchers. Nola just had a good start. He's not going anywhere. And as long as Jared Eichhoff keeps throwing like he is, this rotation's full. So unless there's an injury, Nick Pivetta is going to be down on the farm a little bit longer. And that wraps up the series against the Marlins, as well as 17 games in 17 days, I think it was, for the Phillies. They stand now at 16-12, like I mentioned. Let's see here. That is good for first place in the NL East by a game and a half over the New York Mets, who are at 14-13. A lot of 500 ball being played early in the NL East, which is surprising because we thought these teams would be good. However, it looks like they may just be a bunch of average, kind of beating each other up with a tough stretch ahead for the Phils. They kind of get into the NL Central a little bit more here in the month of May. We'll dive into that in our Phillies podcast with Pags later this year. But your probable pitchers for the Tigers games, the Phils are off on Monday. They got the Tigers Tuesday and Wednesday. Vince Velasquez versus Tyson Ross at Citizens Bank on Tuesday. And then Wednesday we get Spencer Turnbull versus Aaron Nola. Hopefully he can continue to progress on a positive track and build off that last quality start he had against the Marlins, against another Detroit team that you could win some games against. And after that, they get Thursday off before another weekend series in the division. Good week coming up. Hopefully you can get the next 2 going riding hot at the worst case split against Detroit. But Phillies keep playing good ball, got healthy against the Marlins, did what they needed to do, got 3 out of 4. Now they can have a nice off day here for the first time in a couple of weeks, recharge, get ready to go, and we got ourselves a tough little stretch, like I mentioned, coming up in May, and then a shit ton of divisional games in June. So the next 2 months are actually going to be, or they're going to matter. So stay tuned, Phillies fans out there. I appreciate you listening as always. This is Miho, Too Close to Call Cast, Philly Fanatics post-series podcast. Phils take 3 out of 4 from the Marlins. We'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.